Hi guys, it's Thomas here from COTbase.com. Welcome to our weekly COT review. Today we're going to be analyzing the 23rd Commitments of Traders Report of 2022, and as we always do, we shall start off by looking at the largest changes in commercials positions. But before we jump to the review, just a brief reminder for those of you who are new to COT analysis, that here at COTbase.com you'll find a lot of educational material explaining to you what the Commitments of Traders Report is all about, how you can analyze it, how you can benefit from this very, very valuable information. And of course, we have some very useful videos as well that will guide you through the analysis process, explaining to you step by step how you can analyze this wonderful data. So back to the review, and starting off with our first market on the list, which you can see as copper. So we're talking about the largest changes in commercials positions. We've got commercials on the left side over here. We're talking about, of course, net positions, and we are looking at this recent data, the change in the data based on a 52-week look back period, which of course corresponds to a year. So commercials, of course, represented in red. And you can see this latest change size in their positions, pretty large amongst the top, let's say, 5 changes. The only thing that you can see, this is a bearish COT change signal, and it is coming after a decline in the market. So this signal could be a little bit late for us to act upon. Usually COT change signals have an effect in the near term. Moving on to the 5 years chart, you can see that we had a relative bullish COT Extreme a couple weeks ago in May. We just moved away from that extreme level. And of course, the big question is which way traders shift their positions. If this is to continue the past few weeks, meaning commercials starting to increase their net short positions and large speculators going net long and then increasing that of course would mean, in my opinion, that the rise in copper is ahead of us. I don't know, I can't tell. We do these analysis by measuring net positions, and of course this is essentially a stress measuring tool. So we are still more in a bullish COT extreme zone right now. Moving on to feeder cattle, where we have a 20% change in commercials net positions. Here we have the chart. On the 1 year chart, you can see that size being larger than average. We have seen similar changes in the past. Again, this is a bearish COT change signal. In this case, it is coming very close to the top. So this suggests that we should see some further weakening in feeder cattle in the next couple of days. And moving on to the 5 years chart, you can see that we're still in a bullish extreme zone, meaning even though we have that high in the price, COT report analysis suggests that we should expect this to continue in the next couple of months and possibly years ahead of us. We'll see. Canadian dollar is our next market. We have a 15% change in commercials net positions. This is of course, a smaller size if you compare it to feeder cattle or copper. Nevertheless, we are talking about a currency, so we should pay attention. It is larger than average. Recently, we have seen greater changes in the market compared to, let's say, early this year. You can see the magnitude of change in net positions has started to increase. We do see that the market has headed lower this week. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you can see there has been a significant drop in the Canadian dollar, which means that this signal could be a little bit late for us to act upon. You can see as the market was headed higher, we started to get these bearish COT change signals. So anybody who was looking at that may acted upon it. They weren't that big though, so I don't think it was that big of a clear COT change signal. Moving on to the 5 years chart, you can see that we are more or less in between the two major extremes. You can see significant bearish extreme from 2017. We had a very significant bullish COT extreme just at the beginning of this chart. We are more or less in between those two. So stress analysis does not necessarily give us a very clear indication on which way the Canadian dollar is headed. Moving on to large speculators COT Extreme analysis, we've got the orange juice on top of our list with a 282 report extreme in large speculators positions. This, of course, means that in this 5 years time horizon that we're currently looking at, we have not seen such an extreme before. It is a bearish extreme, suggesting orange juice should be topping in the next few weeks or maybe month ahead of us. New Zealand dollar, the next market, 115 report extreme. That's roughly 2 years. So you can see where that was in the past in 2019, December of 2019, actually. It is a bullish extreme. It could grow to greater levels. You can see much greater extremes from 2019. We had a significant extreme in October of 2018. So it suggests that if this trend continues and the price of New Zealand dollar and the trend in net positions continues as well, then of course we should be expecting a bottoming happening soon. Cotton will be the next market. Here we have just a 47 report extreme. So you can see that we had that bearish extreme, very significant one in October of 2021 without any major shift in the trend. So to me, this seems as if this is in some sense a market capitulation of commercials, meaning that margin calls are forcing them to exit their net short positions, which actually is driving the price higher. So that is cotton. Of course, this is a brief review just on a few markets, just to give you a little bit of taste on of what's available here at cotbase.com. And of course, we are only looking at a few market categories. So if you want to look at grains or stock indexes, interest rates, or cryptocurrencies, then of course those are available as well. You get the option of looking at the newest COT report types, all the different data types, so you can analyze the futures data only or the options data only as well. There's all sorts of data sets to analyze. And of course, we've got a lot of tools available to you, like the COT index, the COT move index, when we're talking about COT extreme analysis. We have the long-term trend indicator, very useful tool. We also added the volume and open interest analysis, which I believe is a great supplemental tool to commitments of traders analysis. If you're somebody who is trading a specific market, let's say the New Zealand dollar that we just talked about, you actually can analyze the commitments of traders data, everything that there is for this market. You can see that we can really dig into the data analysis if you wanted to, and of course everything is chartable too. So if you want to look at the graphic representation of that specific data set, then you can do that as well. I should point out we have some very useful indicators as well. The COT Base Pro, which basically includes everything that you just saw in my review, but you can actually use these tools in NinjaTrader 8. And above that, you actually have the option of downloading our wonderful data. The ICOT intraday indicator, a more newer indicator, is something available not only in NinjaTrader but CTrader and TradingView as well. This is a more short-term tool that we are very proud of, because it took us many years of research and development to come up with something that mimics COT analysis, but this is in the short term. So this is not data coming from CFTC. I should point that out. This is our own indicator. But you can see this is gold on a 1 minute candlestick chart, and you can see how well, and we actually try helping you by giving you certain signals at these extremes, right? And that will help you better analyze the market in a more shorter time frame that can be beneficial in entering or exiting the trade. And a very useful tool. I think it's worth trying if you have not yet done so. So thank you very much for being with me in this recent review. I appreciate your attention. I wish you guys a wonderful weekend, and I hope to see you in my next COT review. And please, if you have not done so, subscribe and hit that like button. That would be greatly appreciated. All the best. Bye.